praise your name in all the earth.
Here we are, summer series, and the one thing, remember, as I told my viewers, that you told me, you got to quit eating candy. So I'm like,
Sugar.
what kind of candy can I eat? You're like, none, zero. Okay, so here's the alternative, and this works well. It's called protein balls. And you get your protein fix. It curbs all my sugar fix. So talk to us about what's in it and why all this is really good for you.
Yeah.
And this is the one surprise for me. I'm like,
oh, I'll be talking about those.
Like, if you're gonna let me put chocolate chips, and it's okay.
I'm game. Right.
So, but talk to me about why you can make something that tastes like a German chocolate cake be so healthy for you.
Sure. So, Dave, I want to take this back just a little bit, right, to my story, okay? So when we start talking about sugar and we start talking about sweets here, right? So when I was at my heaviest, I was a type 2 diabetic. My A1C, right, showed that on my blood work. And then my fasting glucose as well, right? So my sugars were all over the board, all over the chart. And the reason for that was, I'm open and honest, I had a sugar addiction, right? So bread, pastas, potatoes, right, sugar, all of that creates and enhances, unfortunately, the type 2 diabetic epidemic that we're seeing in this country today. So despite the lack of what I think is a Southern accent, I was actually born and raised here in Western North Carolina. And so back in the day, what was the one thing that we all enjoyed after dinner every single night? Dessert, right?
I was going to say ice cream.
Yeah, or ice cream, right? Some type of sugar fix, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
apple pie,
right? Absolutely. So when I started, right, this journey for myself and then also helping others, they're like, Melissa, you can't take all that away. We have to have something that tastes good, right? Something that kind of almost tricks us, but it doesn't, right? But it's still very good for us.
Stop right there a minute. You said you can't take all this away. When Tammy and I came to you, and we were sitting in your class, and I was looking at her, and I was like, So, very important that people understand. You are removing some bad habits from your diet.
Yes.
But when you incorporated the tricks, the crackers that I could eat, when you told me no candy, no bread, no potatoes, I said, she's taking my manhood away from me now. But then you came back with the blessing, and it's a great thing that Tammy and I spiritually was in a place to where God said, okay, you can do this. I mean, because we had just come off a fasting program.
Right.
And you begin to sacrifice things, and you have to sacrifice things in life. But what are you really sacrificing to eat healthy? It's a gain.
It is a gain.
So I wanted to get that in.
Yeah.
But then you come back with the blessing. Okay.
Yep.
You like German chocolate cake? Here we go. Show us.
Right?
Show us.
So this is a great alternative, healthy alternative. And so you were kind of talking about some of the ingredients here that I'm going to walk us through and talk about those. But this is also another great thing that you can carry right with you in a little cooler. So when somebody says to me, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, I just get, that 2:30 slump, or like that 4:30 when I'm picking up kids and they have, basketball and soccer and all of this other stuff, and they want something and they want something now. These are wonderful, right? And most people who come to the house for dinner parties or whatnot with Chris and I, we actually serve these. I dress them up a little bit and I'll talk about that. And I disguise them as truffles, actually, for dessert. And nobody has any idea that they're healthy for them. And so here's what Chris does. This is kind of funny, Dave. So Chris will say, let them try it before you tell them that it's healthy or what's in it, please, right? Because
you know what? I get that. The minute you mention it, no, I don't want that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So these are the German chocolate, and there's about 55 different protein ball recipes actually on my site. This is one of your favorites. Another most popular one is the cookie dough. We've talked about that one. And then my husband loves the cinnamon vanilla ones. And so these are just a great snack. It's great to get you through that afternoon slump, right? And or for after your meal when you just want that sugar, because as I stated earlier, right, in one of the segments, that nutrition is really historically ingrained in us, right? It's what our grandmother fed us. It's what our mother, whoever our guardian was at the time, right? So with this recipe, we've started with some coconut here already in the bowl. And then we've got walnuts. Wonderful, right? We're just gonna start dumping this in. And then we have actually 2 different types of healthy sugar here, as you can see. So these are actually dates that Tammy kind of cut up for us, those medjool dates here. We're just gonna go ahead and scrape that into the bowl here.
Now dates, if you just, and I'm gonna stick my finger in here.
Yeah.
And you think that's loaded with sugar?
Right.
Why is that not? Why is that?
Well,
so,
it's
why is
sweet.
It's sweet because of the
The
sweetness.
natural sugar, absolutely, that's in fruit, absolutely. But this, the actual dates are lower glycemic index,
See, that's
just
the
like
key.
with the
That's the
berries,
key,
right?
Yes, yes.
And so now, if you sit down and ate that whole bowl, that's not going to be good for you, right?
Probably not.
No. So it's that moderation we
That's
were
why I
talking
can only
about.
have 4 balls
That's right.
at a time.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna step back here on my meat
Okay.
while you continue.
And I'm going to still continue to talk about this. And so then in this bowl, what we have is we actually have those quick oats. So these are gluten-free rolled oats that have just been processed a little bit more. So it's a little finer texture. It almost looks like an oat flour, as you can see there. Then we've got just 100% special dark cocoa powder. So in here we're going to be putting a tablespoon. That's what's going to give us that wonderful natural chocolate. And then this is one of my favorite products that I love to talk about. So when people ask me about protein, right, because most people don't get enough protein throughout the day, Vega protein powder. So this is the vanilla flavor. I'm just going to kind of show the camera here. This is a wonderful smooth texture. I actually even put this in my iced protein coffee every morning.
Really?
Yes, it works as a great creamer. And just another way. And so when people look at me, right, they don't think I'm as old as I am.
I hadn't tried that. I might try
Right?
that. Yeah.
And the reason for that is protein, right?
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. I mean, your hair, Melissa, it's long, it's healthy,
Yeah.
your skin.
Yeah.
What do? And it's protein. So this is actually pea protein, PEA protein, and it actually has hidden vegetables in here. So in addition, you've got some broccoli, cauliflower, carrots in here. So that's going to be a wonderful protein powder to use. There's several different flavors that you can get in the Vega. Several different stores actually sell it locally as well. And then honey here, we're going to add in just a couple of tablespoons. Now keep in mind, you know, you wouldn't want to just eat 2 tablespoons of honey, right? But because we're going to be doing protein balls, and you're going to kind of see the size of the protein balls when we talk about everything in moderation, okay? And then we're also going to be putting in here then those chocolate chips also. So the
And
one
again,
thing,
this is my favorite protein ball. This is,
yes, yes.
When I have that sugar rush now, man, I just go grab a protein ball.
Absolutely, and it satisfies it, right?
It really does. It
Yeah,
shuts, it shuts it down.
It really does.
And keeps me from.
And so this is one of my favorite, and this is Lily's. So this is the dark chocolate chip baking chips, okay? Most grocery stores around here sell this, Walmart, Food Lion, Ingles. Wide variety of flavors. You can actually get this in the white baking chocolate as well. They have a caramel flavor. And what's so nice about this is you can see it's sweetened with stevia. So stevia is an all-natural sweetener. It's from the mint family. I actually grow that in my garden as well. You can dry it. I use it in teas. I use it in a lot of baked goods. And so this is really good for those people who have, you know, metabolic issues, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes.
Let's talk about something you just said.
Sure.
Let's talk about stevia.
Yeah.
I always
mix this
thought,
up.
hey, if I'm at Outback and I want the unsweetened tea and I put the little yellow pack of Splenda whatever in there, not good for me, huh?
Splenda's not good for you. That's actually chemical. That's not
That's good.
stevia.
Now let's segue to stevia.
Sure.
So my wife started buying stevia. Stevia, okay, so I get my coffee, I put a thing of stevia in there, and not so good for me either because I didn't realize that has fillers.
Fillers in it. Yes.
So there's this thing, a liquid stevia, that is pure stevia.
That is pure stevia.
Talk to us about why that's so much healthier. And
Absolutely.
We should make that investment to make that change.
So if you're not willing to, of course, grow this in your garden yourself, right, where you can kind of control the environment, which I highly recommend because here, again, in this climate, it winters over. You can put it in a little container on the porch, whatever that may look like for you, the back patio. But when you do buy stevia, you want to make sure that it's pure stevia. So there's no added what you're talking about, fillers like maltodextrin, sucralose, right?
The things we can't pronounce.
This same, yeah, that's basically chemical sugar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or and or hidden sugars, right? That aren't really currently recognized by the FDA. Yeah.
You hear the birds out here? It's pretty
I
nice.
do. It's really wonderful. All right. So while we don't have all of this mixed up, we do have enough mixed up to kind of just do a little taste test and a little demonstration here. So usually, and I use a cookie dough scoop for mine. So it's like a little 1 tablespoon cookie dough.
And I'm going to step over here and grab
cookie
the
dough.
finished product.
So I am going to just take a little bit of this. That's a little messy, but that's okay. We're just going to kind of roll it up right in our hands. And then you can kind of see, so this is basically a serving size right here.
And this is what they look like. And Tammy sprinkled some goodies on it. But this is what they look like when I take them to travel with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's been in the refrigerator. Yep. Look at that.
Yeah. I asked you if I could have the pecans or the nuts in them.
Yes.
And yes.
Yes.
With the coconut, this bad boy tastes like German chocolate cake.
It does.
And it is very good.
Yes.
Very delicious. Now, you'll have to make these and roll them.
Right.
And put them in the fridge. And then they get a consistency.
Yes.
But this is the recipe. This is the finished product.
And how easy is that just to take with you? Perfect.
It's really good. Really good.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Okay, Melissa. So,
All right.
with everything I've learned about cooking, the healthy way of eating, I want to share something with my friends that I stumbled upon.
I'm excited.
And so this is something that I asked Tammy to pack for me when I go out on ball games and different things. And when I'm coming home from the gym and I don't have time to transition, turn around, this is very, very easy, very good, very easy to do. So basically you start with venison. And we've had some cooking back here, so I'll bring it off.
It's been smelling wonderful on the patio, Dave.
Oh yes, this is pretty good stuff. So I bring some of that off, and now this has been flavored with everything that I love. Now,
all right,
the recipe is a little paprika, some garlic, cumin,
oh yes,
oregano, chili pepper, and I think this is
that's got to be the onion powder.
the onion powder. Just a little tomato paste. Now, you put all that together in this little bowl here, and you spice this to taste. I'm a medium to heavy spicer. Some people will maybe a heavy to excessive. Some may be light. So you have to season and flavor this thing the way.
Gotta find your balance.
Right.
That's right.
So this was the key that I didn't realize. When Tammy first made that, we would eat it raw, basically.
Yeah.
But I discovered my love for banana peppers. And I bring these banana peppers out. I have a innate love for green olives.
Green olives, I love it. Yes.
Some of those out.
Right.
And cherry tomatoes. Now, you told me and you advised me against the tomatoes. Why?
So most people don't realize, Dave,
And I'm going to cut this up.
that tomatoes actually are not a vegetable, they're a fruit. So you have to kind of watch, right, the glycemic index. And also, with a lot of patients and clients who have a lot of inflammation and arthritic tendencies, tomatoes cause a lot of inflammation as well. Yes.
So I have to watch the amount of tomatoes.
That is correct.
And I do. The tomatoes add a little spice. And you can tell with the banana peppers and tomatoes, you get that acidic twinge that I really love. And this is really easy to do once you have your deer meat. I call it venison, since I don't want to offend anybody. Tammy won't let me shoot a deer, but we'll both eat it. So I get this little mixture here, and I'll take that and I'll put it on the grill just for a second. just for a second. And Tammy gave me these herbs to
Oh,
put in there.
nice, yes. Since that's kind of been our theme for the summer
Yes.
cooking, right? Using the fresh herbs.
And I can't remember which one she gave me there, but
Looks like oregano.
oregano.
Looks like oregano.
Now we have the oregano, powdered oregano.
Right,
Even-
but now we're mixing in the fresh.
Now you don't want to get this so hot. You don't want to cook this. You just want to
Just heat it up.
heat it up. Just want to heat that up a little bit. Now you bring that off. Now, this is what I love to do. I love to take a lettuce wrap and load it up with the venison. And I want to thank the people at Wells, Jenkins and Wells, Jeffrey Wells and that group over there for the venison.
Yes.
So kind. And then you put this in here. And you got that twang and the twinge. And
Look at that. So a healthy wrap. So
It is
no
a-
bread,
mm,
right?
no bread.
So, and that's a wonderful, great summer dinner.
The flavor of the meat, the twang of the banana peppers,
Yes.
the olives, the acidic juice of the tomatoes. Oh, I gotta have another bite.
It's good.
This is
It's
good.
good. We can tell.
This is really good.
Love it. Love it.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
So again, here is another example of our pound of vegetables, right? We got some lean protein here. Absolutely. Flavor. That's what it's about.
Now, this is something I stumbled upon from healthy eating habits.
Right.
What can I cook that's healthy? What can I eat that's healthy?
Yes.
And this is something for my friends. You need to try this. Get you some deer meat, a couple of vegetables.
Oh.
Told you the mixed recipe.
Easy.
Sit
Simple.
out on your patio and have a ball.
Right.
The last thing I want to go over is there's a salad. And we can actually prep these salads. Get this out of the way. We talked about food prep.
Yes.
Talked about food prep a lot. One thing about the food prep, Tammy makes a very nice salad. And when I prep the breakfast, I prep the midday meals as well. And she'll put this in that same container. And while you're out here on your patio and you got your smoker going, and you pull off that chicken breast,
Yes. Look at that.
you just pull that chicken breast off the smoker. And I'll throw some cherry potatoes on here, and I'll take and give them away because I can't eat them. But you take that chicken breast, and then you just slice it up.
Oh, that looks pretty.
Slice that up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so moist. And you put that right on your salad. And you got a nice salad for you and your wife. This has the nuts in it, the berries and the fruit, the veggies, and whatever meat you want to put on it. And usually our choice is chicken. And again, we pack this up and it travels well.
Right. And so let's talk about the salad for a second.
Let's
Because
talk
this is a great thing to kind of segue, right, what we've been talking about all afternoon, basically, is those macros, right? So what we saw with the German chocolate protein balls, right? That's the perfect macro of protein, fat, and carbs. This is too, right? So we've got protein here. We've got the carbs in the vegetables, but good carbs, right? So we want to make that distinction between bad carbs and good carbs, right? So good carbs are going to be coming from your vegetables, right? Instead of that processed, refined, right, flour that we use in a lot of breads, wraps, etc. So that's why I love the substitution that you did also, right, with the lettuce wrap. So we've got lettuce here. So we've got the carbs, we've got the nuts, which offer a lot of good fat for us, right? And then we've got the goat cheese as well.
The goat cheese.
So goat cheese is really good because I don't think most people realize with goat cheese that goat's milk is probably the closest to breast milk that there is.
Wow.
Right. So a lot of times when people can't digest and process cheese because of the whole dairy factor or whatever, they can typically eat goat. Now, not everybody, right, because everybody's different, but most people can tolerate the goat cheese.
Yeah.
And so that's also a great fat as well. So this plate, and also the rainbow of colors here on this.
Look at that.
Also,
Yeah,
right?
beautiful,
So this is a perfect
Yeah.
way to get those vegetables, right? So that pound of vegetables a day. We've got a little bit of sweetness, right, with the berries. I don't even know that we need dressing with the berries on this.
You know, that salad can be eaten without dressing.
Absolutely.
But there's a couple of the dressings.
Oh, with the vinegars,
So,
yes.
As I said, you can drink this stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's great on all these salads.
Absolutely, right.
But there's very important
Yeah.
distinction between the plastic bottle olive oils in the glass.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think this just kind of sums it up of how we can go from, right, breakfast, lunch,
Yep.
snacks with the
Snack.
protein balls
Yep.
to dinner.
Summertime.
That's right.
Well, listen, thank you so much.
Thank
and now
you.
I want to touch on a couple things before we go.
Yes, please.
Lettuce. So I remember you telling Tammy that lettuce has no nutritional value. This is different.
Iceberg lettuce.
So tell me that
Sure.
this is different.
So
Romaine
this is
versus iceberg.
romaine lettuce does have some nutritional value. Iceberg lettuce, right, is primarily water. So, you know, it's easy to grow, right? But romaine lettuce does have a lot of those macros and micros that we need.
And that's why Tammy said, no, this is good for you.
That's good.
So I said it replaces the bread,
Yes.
and I'm all down with it. So, and the other thing that you mentioned that I wanted to touch on, the thought escaped me, but I want to get back to it. You mentioned meats. People talk about the protein, the cholesterol levels in shrimp. You looked at my blood work and you said, no, shrimp is good for you, so I'm eating more shrimp. Why is it not just cholesterol that you're looking at with seafood, shellfish,
Sure. So,
and body types?
well, in protein and fat, right? So it gets back to that whole thing of, oh, well, you shouldn't be eating eggs because it causes bad cholesterol. It may in some people, but other people not, because we're all created differently. So that's why looking at blood work and looking at the entire person as a whole is very important.
And Tammy, I'm so thankful we never really took nutrition to the level we should have taken it to. And that's why I'm so encouraged to meet you and so proud to have met you and to do these sessions with you and to take people down the road of how you can eat healthier.
Yes.
You don't have to deprive yourself of anything.
No.
And the benefits are far outweigh the
Oh,
negatives.
my goodness, right?
So there's so much.
So much. We've
I
just
love-
barely scratched the surface
But so
here.
I love this thing with my dogs. At night, I had a habit before I go to bed. I'll cut sharp cheese, the old orange cheese, and put it on wheat crackers. I said, you can't get more healthier than that. Not so fast, my friends. So you turn me on to some healthy crackers, and there's a healthier type of cheese.
That's right.
So talk to us about crackers and cheese and
Sure.
why the healthy, low fat, all that wheat crackers in the grocery store. It's not really
right.
what we want to be eating.
Well, we do need some level of fat in our diet, and the reason for that is, again, fat helps you with fingernails, with your skin, right? It also helps you with your hair as well. So, and then if you don't have enough fat, and let's say your cholesterol level drops too low, then we run the risk of other issues developing in our body. So the crackers that I kind of turned you on to were almond crackers, right? So
Yep.
they're processed with almonds.
Yep.
And then,
Almond flour.
right, and not all cheese is the same. So never buy the shredded cheese, right? Because the shredded cheese is usually caked with some type of like potato starch or something like that to prevent caking. So you want to always buy cheese, not from the dairy section, from the deli section, on the block, and shred it yourself.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
little tips
Just little tips
Little
like
tips to
that.
help-
little
help-
things that you can change.
to help people live healthier and better. And I know that when you and I were sitting down, you do some side work for me with website stuff, and you do some nonprofit work, and you're too busy. I tell you that all the time, but I say that I kid because I love you. If people would take the time, and I just want to share this, if they would take the time to sit down with a nutritionist, I think the way that we're so quick to go to the doctor and get on another medication, that would change. Our relationships with our loved ones would change. because you would now have the energy to feel like doing the things that you need to be doing versus the things you have to do.
Yes.
And I just see the benefits of taking care of yourself, the vessel that God gave us. And you're a blessing. I'm thankful for you. You told me that you sleep very little. And I'm like, well, you don't look like it. You look like you get plenty of rest. But you have so many degrees, and you've educated yourself in so many arenas. And I go back to the words that my father told me. He said, go feed my children. And that's why I do this. I'm not doing this for kicks and giggles, and I'm not doing it for self-gratification. I'm doing it to help people, because there's someone out there that needs this kind of help. I work in the prison ministry to help people. I work in the nonprofit arena to help people. I'm even going back to school to study to help people. I work in the drug addiction arena to help people. This is another way, and I want to be sure that we welcome you back, and we continue with a regular segment with you, and you come back and feed us.
Awesome. I would love that. I would
appreciate
love that.
you. Appreciate everything you do. Appreciate the person you are. Melissa, Metcalf, LeRoy.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Gloria is your name.